house will not buy the house. Is that true? It's true. So you should do the open house knowing there's people coming and they're going to walk in the door and they're going to, oh, this will never work, and then run to get away from you. Is that true? So how do you slow them down? Offerings. And we already talked about this, but you should have a little box that goes in your trunk when you do an open that has lucite stands and registration forms. And the lucite stands have the offering. And I already described some. Haven't bought a home recently? 58-page buying guide, sign below. Haven't sold a home recently? How to get top dollar for your home, sign below. Relocation package, sign below. Ever thought about real estate investing? Sign below. So you should be merchandising the house with offerings that people who decide they don't want the house will say, can you tell me about this relocation package? Do you have one? We're new to town. I'm sorry, let me finish with this person. I'll be glad to answer that question. Because I don't want to say, no, I don't have any right now, because I don't. I want to wait, get rid of that person, and then talk to them. So where are you moving from, right? Take control, start asking questions, yes? Yes? Right? So these things slow people down and get you what? Contact information. So if you're busy, just write your name down there, give me your email and phone number, and I'll be sure to get a package to you. I'll follow up with you tomorrow morning. Right? That's it. Okay. Door knock and invite the neighbors. If you're not doing the other style that we talked about, the circle prospecting, then door knock and invite the neighbors, at least 60 neighbors. And this is inviting the neighbors to come. And then traffic creates traffic. What's that? The database blast. You want to invite your entire database to your open house. Your entire database. Everybody. And that's because of this issue. If you're doing an open house and there's nobody there and there's no cars out front, your car's out on the street, and people are driving by, they look in the window and here you are. They speed up. Is that true? They ain't stopping. If they come back an hour later and there's 5 cars out front, 4 across the street, 3 couples are walking up, 2 couples are walking out, they feel very comfortable stopping. Is this true? Traffic creates traffic. More importantly, if it's really big, if you have a lot of activity and the neighbors have never seen anything like that, they'll go park their car and say, what's going on over there? Let's walk over and check it out. Is that true? And then they'll come over there, right? 20 neighbors to the left, 20 neighbors to the right, and 20 neighbors across the street. Yeah, you're inviting them to the open house, right? Teams that do a lot of open houses as a strategy, one of their pillars, often will have an open house on Wednesday or Thursday only for the neighbors. So they invite the neighbors to a private preview of the new home in the neighborhood. And again, that will be done the first week of the listing. You're inviting them to a private preview, right? Say that again?
If you go out live with a new listing.
Well, we do enough listings that we go out live as soon as we can get them in the system.
Yeah, I mean, a lot. For example, they do like Wednesday or Thursday.
Yeah, no, we put ours out 48 hours after taking it. 48 hours after taking it, I want it live on the internet. No matter what, it's got nothing to do with the day of the week for me. If you're doing a volume business, you don't have the luxury of stacking stuff up like that. You got to keep pumping stuff out or you'll get backed up and then somebody gets dropped in the grease. Does that make sense? You can't do that, right? It's like at Wendy's, you know that their system is broken down when they say, could you do me a favor, hon? Could you pull up over there? We'll bring your fries out to you. Bob didn't drop another bag of fries and we're backed up. System's backed up. I don't want to do that to a buyer or seller. I don't ever want to say, I'm sorry, it's not up yet, right? Okay. Investors. Why should you think about investors? This may seem a little odd based on what I said earlier. I think it's your responsibility. I think unpaid college debt. I think a shrinking middle class. I think a lot of issues that are literally big, massive cultural and business issues for us, we could help fix. And I truly believe in my mind and my heart that anybody we help buy a home needs to buy at least one other property. For their kids, for their aging parents, or for their retirement. But there's nothing bad at all in them buying one other property minimum. My father that I mentioned, when he was staring at his check at the closing table, this big check, and he was staring at his check. For a minute I thought, is he having a spell? Because he was just fixated, just sitting there staring at the check like this. I know he'd never seen that many numbers on a check. And I said, Dad, what are you thinking? Dad, what are you thinking? And he grunted at me. I should have bought more houses. No, that's what he said. And I'll never forget that now. I think there are people that if you don't tell them they need to buy more houses, shame on you. If you tell them to buy more houses and they say no, thank you, then shame on them. But I don't ever want to be the person that never told people to buy more houses. I want to tell them to buy more houses because I really think it can change their outcomes. And if you believe that, then you need to do it. You should be aware right now, investor buying is double what had been the historic percentage. It had been 10% of residential sales went to investors. In the crash, it went to 21 or 22%, and a big chunk of that was institutional buying like Blackstone. But that's long over, and we're still holding at 20% of residential sales are going to investors. And that is a lot of regular people who couldn't sell their property and became landlords because they had to, discovered it wasn't the fear and pandemonium thing that they were told it would be, right? There's going to be this massive disaster. And a lot of people started to realize true benefits from it, cash flows, and people got into it. And as long as rates are low and rents are high, price is not the big issue. If you can get positive cash flow in a fixed instrument, it's worth doing. Period. Fixed instrument, great property, great location. I don't care what the price is. And I mean that very seriously, as long as it'll cash flow. And it's got a cash flow. And then agent referrals. Yeah, you all should get business from agents. There's an idea. How do you work that? Kelly, you should be building your referral network, but being strategic, what should you look up? The Census Bureau does incredible studies tracking migratory patterns of the population. People are moving steadily all around the country. Some are leaving over here and going over there. Some are leaving there and going over there. And the government has to study that always. Why? They study it in full every 10 years. They do micro studies, small studies, all between the two big 10-year studies. But they're always doing the 10-year studies because what are they looking at? Infrastructure development. You have to know if people are suddenly going more and more over here, you got to get it ready with water and sewer and roads and schools, and that takes a decade or more to implement once you know you need it. Is that true? So they're always looking ahead. So here's the point. You can get online and go to the Census Bureau and find out where are the top 10 places people are moving here from, and where are the top 10 places people are moving from here to. And then you need to go to those cities and go to every KW office and find a high volume agent, because they're going to have more opportunity for you than somebody that sells 5 houses a year to find an opportunity for you. Does that make sense? And then you get with them on Kelly, so that your town pops up in their phone that they've got somebody for you. Okay, Candy Aha, we're going to just plow right through here to the bitter end. Feed it every day. We talked about that on your database, yes? Yes. Thank you. Here's a 14-step marketing plan designed to get leads for your seller, who most of them become leads for you because they're not going to buy the seller's house. Is that true? But this is for the seller. And you should do something more powerful than this, but that actually works. The number of leads is a big number game. We already talked about that. Systematic marketing matters more. We talked about that. Your lead gen plan must be more ambitious than your income goals. Clarity of message. Now this is about messaging. And it says your brand is promoted by having 4 concepts at play. Head, heart, humor, and hard. Meaning make them think, make them make them feel you, make them connect with you at a different level with a heart message, make them laugh, and hard close them. So here's a head message. This is a real estate report card. This is a postcard. The address label will be here and the postage is there. But it shows you our brand. It shows you the report card on these two neighborhoods. It shows you the average list price per square foot. In my market, this is a big number, the per foot, and the average sales price. So this is, on the other side would be the image that grabs attention. This is snail mail here, but there would be the image that grabs attention. This is the statement. Y'all follow that? This is the statement. This is the offering. Want to know your home's approximate worth? And this is the call to action. Log on to TallahasseeHomeValues.com. Remember what we talked about earlier? This is exactly the way it works. Here's another image. This is a heart image. Can you see the child? Yep. It says, we salute the 3 million Americans who volunteer their time and talent to help the March of Dimes save babies. Now, what does that have to do with real estate? Nothing. What does it have to do with? I'm not naive about this stuff at all. I'm very clear-eyed about this. This could be looked at as I'm using charity to grow my business. That's not true at all. I've been on the board of directors of the March of Dimes. We give money to the March of Dimes. I had one premature baby who benefited from a drug that March of Dimes research invented. I will always support the March of Dimes. And I don't care what people think about me promoting the March of Dimes, right? If they think I'm doing it for money, I really don't care about that. I'm going to keep promoting the March of Dimes because they matter to me, right? But here's what I know. This kind of work, when you do good works like that, there are people that look at that and immediately have a feeling that you're the kind of person I would do business with. Y'all get that? I've done this a long time now, supporting good causes, and people will attribute somebody who does that to have a level of integrity that's who they want to do business with. You get that? So Gary Keller talks about this a lot, and he tells his group they need to be very, very formal, meaning they need to create a charitable institution, a 403, and they need to do public donations so that they can get the benefit of doing these good works from the publicity that it generates. So you all know this, all large Fortune 500 companies have some kind of charity that they promote all the time that they're a sponsor of, yes? So it's the same kind of concept. We do this stuff regularly, and I love it because it gets us business, and that means we make more money, and then I can give them more money, and then I get more business, and then it starts all over again. Here's a humor, thinking about moving. That would be like a picture on the other side of the real estate report card that gets your attention, and then you flip it over. Now, this is very complicated. It's very simple stuff. And here's a hard close. The Rivers team does it again in your neighborhood. Want to know what your home is worth? There you go. A lot of your messaging needs to be about these 5 homes. Again, the government, the Census Bureau says an American who buys their first home under the age of 30 is going to own 5 homes in their lifetime. And here's what they are. The first-time buyer, the growing family. These 2 are considered utility, meaning it's more about space. It's more about space than anything else. And then move up, second move up of a small percentage, no more than 2% of the population will go into luxury, and then the downsides. Now, each one of these has a buyer face and a seller face. That's 10 messages. To this, you should add the second home and the real estate investing. Y'all follow that? Now, some of these you need to message repeatedly. I think you ought to do the real estate investing message at least twice a year, maybe 4 times a year. I think you should message the second home twice a year, the second home. Thinking about buying a vacation home, twice a year. And you need to maybe learn a little bit more about vacation homes, but there are parts of the country where a vacation home will be available to them to use, but they can also rent it out and it will pay for itself and even cash flow for them. Y'all follow that? Yep. You have that?
I got tired of putting money into my kid's 529 account.
Yeah.
And every market correction is right back to where I was. So my wife and I bought a place down in Wildwood, rented out for $22.50 a week, rented 10 weeks a year. We still get 2 or 3 weeks, and we go down to use
what was that thing you said in the middle of all that?
Don't
It's
tell it.
crazy. It's crazy good, right?
Well, it's crazy that I accidentally found out about it.
Yeah, because no realtor told you about it. Now that's my point.
And my other point is this, I think what you were saying is to do some kind of an event.
Yeah.
And I think this might be something I'm going to do in my focus town, to say, listen, if you guys want to have an idea of how to fund your kids' college, come to my seminar.
Now, all of you need to be, Tony, you all need to have a vacation home that pays for itself. I'm not kidding. Why would you not do this? I have 2 of them. Why would you not do this? It's like, come on, man. You're in real estate and you don't want to buy real estate that's free? Come on, man. Yeah.
Now, with that example, could he offer a 1 week to his past clients, anybody who gives him a referral, as an opportunity to go into a raffle, and then be able to win a chance to have a week vacation down, if you send it to your past clients?
Raffle is the trouble word.
Yeah.
Raffle is not what you want to do. No, you don't want to do that. No, not raffle. You can offer it, but not the raffle thing. Okay, so those are the things for you to message about. Now realize what I'm telling you. It is target messaging. You look at your database. Most of them are not first-time buyers, but is it possible they either have a child who's about to be a first-time buyer, or they know somebody who's a first-time buyer? Yes or no? So that's what you message about. You message about the first-time buyer. The offering could be the seminar, it could be the book, Your First Home, but you make that offering, and when they click to get it, you now know either they or someone they know is a first-time buyer. In order to get the book, the click takes them to the website where they got to fill out a form, who they are and who the first-time buyer is in order to get the book. Y'all follow this? Are y'all really hearing this? Okay. Our strategies, we get about 10 forms a day filled out about people asking for stuff related to one of these 7 different real estate adventures they could be on. Right? Okay. All right. Give me an aha later. We're almost done. Keeping your vision. This is the last section. Number 1, you need to have a personal plan. I'm going to give you a quick example of a personal plan. You need to get the job done. You need to focus on your, number 4, you need to focus on your 20%, and that's about time blocking. The time block thing for us has modified over time. Now this might sound like heresy, what I'm about to say, but it's a great example of a personal plan. And particularly for single agents, what I'm about to say. You're taught in a lot of our seminars and in Bold and MAPS coaching to do 3 hours of lead generation 5 days a week in the morning. Yes? And you're told to do it in the morning because why? Highest energy to do something you're not really inclined to do, right? So you can mentally grab a hold of yourself better, right? And do it. If you're going to do high volume, that's actually a bad strategy. In all of your databases, there are going to be people that you'll never get on the phone in the morning on a workday. Never. You won't get a doctor. You won't get a judge. You won't get a lawyer. You won't get a school teacher. There's a ton of people you'll never get on the phone. And the number 1 issue is if they're in your database, you need to communicate with them. Right? It's not just one-way mail going out. That's the weakest level of lead generation you could possibly do, is just mailing them junk. Right? You need to follow up with a phone call. Now you combine that with, if you're a busy single agent or you're a busy agent with a team, but you're busy, you're going to have a buyer in from Atlanta who's going to get here tonight, and they expect to meet with you at 8 in the morning, and they're going to look at property all day today and all day tomorrow, and they expect to write an offer. Is that true? Yes. And you can't tell them, I'm so sorry, I'm tied up both days until 11 a.m., and then I can meet with you. If you tell that to some people, they'll find another agent. Is that true? So our buyer agents were always pushing back on us. I can't do it. I can't do it tomorrow. And we fought that for several years. And then we finally woke up and said, okay. So what we need to do is a 12-hour shift that has 2 shifts inside of it, 9 to 3 and 3 to 9. And this is what we've been doing for a long time. And here's what we found out. If we call from 9 in the morning till 3, if we get everybody whose work shift scheduling is built around a 7 to 3, 3 to 11, that kind of shift that hospital and restaurant people do. And then if we work from 3 to 9 o'clock, we get everybody who's out of that cycle. You can't get them in the morning, like judges, and they're not in the hospital cycle, but they work 9 to 5 or 8 to 5, and you can't get them until it's after work. So we can get all those people. So, and doing 2 shifts that are 6 hours each, you understand what I'm telling you? The agents will do 1 morning shift a week, and that's it. All their other mornings are open. So they can easily schedule almost all of their business with kind of only have 1 morning that they're tied up. And then they have 1 evening that they're tied up. And if they truly have a client that won't work with, it's easier for them to swap out with somebody else. Y'all follow this? This is a personal plan relative to my database. I'm fairly mature now as a real estate agent business, meaning a lot of my people, who was it who said you're selling their kids' houses? Whoever said that? Yeah. So I'm in that world too. Like a lot of my people are like me and my wife, right? Their kids are in college or grown and they got grandkids. So we have a lot of high dollar individuals that are very mobile upwardly, and you just don't get them during the workday. You just don't. It's hard for you to get a hold of me. It's hard for me to get a hold of them. And yet in the evening I can get a hold of them. I made a call. I still do some lead gen. I made a call to Judge Terry Lewis, who is on the 5th Circuit Court. And we've done about, I think, 5 deals with him personally, and he's probably given us 20 referrals over the years because he was an early client of mine. Met him through Rotary. He's in my Rotary Club. Imagine that. It's Rotary. But I made a call to him. It was an easy call. I said, oh, yeah, I got something for you. He sent me to a retiring justice of the Florida Supreme Court. And the justice sent me a top attorney in the Florida Supreme Court. Now, none of this happens if I don't call. Y'all follow that? But it's an easy call in the evening. I went over and took a bottle of Dom Perignon, thanked him for his referral, and then the judge that he sent me to hired us. We sold her house, and I took her a bottle of Dom Perignon, and that's when she gave us the attorney. I just know a lot of people like to drink. What can I tell you? So you got to make a personal plan that works for you and works for your database, right? Creating the personal plan means creating the time block, getting accountability. Why does accountability matter? Do you not believe it matters?
Absolutely.
Okay, I'm just trying to figure that out. It absolutely matters, but why does it matter? It matters, but it matters because you all can lose focus. You all are highly distractible. Is that true? And you're living in an age of the greatest distraction device ever invented. I'm not kidding. I see people all over my businesses, all right in the middle of the workday, all doing this. And a lot of times when I walk in the room, they go. So I know they're being distracted from the work I'm paying them to do, yes or no? I mean, I know it. Now this is you, because if you're a single agent, you're not reporting to anybody, and you're just messing around with this thing whenever you feel like it. And it's too much. If I had to bet, I bet all of you spend too much time on this. If I had to bet, I'd bet that, because I see it in my own world. I'm not telling you anything specific other than you get off track and accountability matters. Accountability looks like this loop. And I'm going to go to this in terms of getting help from your environment. And this is accountability as well as productivity. Make sure your physical space supports you at a high level. And then also think about the people around you, because this is where your accountability could come from. The people around you. I hate to say this, but my experience is there are some agents who keep other agents from being more productive because they just like to chit-chat and they don't care about the increased activity, right? You got to be careful about that. If I walk through my office and I see 4 or 5 agents standing there having a cup of coffee and they're all chatting, and then I walk back 15 minutes later and they're all still standing there at 10:30, I get right in the middle of them and I say, I don't know what the devil y'all think you're doing, but unless one of you's buying something from somebody here, you're wasting time. You're taking this time away from your dinner with your kids tonight, because now you're going to call and say, sorry, I got to work late. I got to get caught up. Quit it. Go to work. Leave now. And Some of them get mad at me, and I really don't care because nobody's holding them accountable in that group. What should happen in that group? Somebody should step up and go, guys, we need to go to work. Somebody should step up, yes?
Yep.
Yes? And let that be you. If you're in that group, let that be you. You step up. Get people to work. 8 to 5 would be the best thing to do. And there's the 411. You should use it. Keep your energy. All right. So final ahas now. Tell me what your final ahas are. We covered a lot, yes? One appointment a week. Minimum. One appointment a week. Boom. Yeah, you do that. Boom. You're off. Ahas. One house a year. Buy one house a year. Yep, buy one house a year. That'll change your life. Yes, sir. Ah, yes, about stopping some things. Our entire business as a team took off when I actually did that. I became the listing specialist, and prior to that, I was buyers and sellers. So on one day, I stopped working with buyers. I'll never forget it. It was a great day. We had a meeting. I gave out my pipeline, all of my stuff, assigned them to all the agents, and I sent out a blast the same day to all of those people and said, I have assigned you to a top agent on our team. They'll be contacting you today. So I sent that out. I gave them all of them. They followed up with them, and I've never touched another buyer since. So those three things, what did I, remember there's something I was doing I needed to do more of? That was talk to more sellers. I needed to talk to more sellers, right? And then there's something I need to stop doing. It was all buyers. I got rid of them. And then I started something new that I'd never done, and that was FSBOs and expires. And that blew our listing business up, and that blew our leads up, and that changed everything. That. Yes, ma'am. Somebody had their hand up back here. Did I miss it? Did I lose it? I lost it. Yes. Expired listing script? Yeah, expireds are coming from, I'll give it to you right now, it's simple. Expireds are coming from a place of pain. If they're truly motivated to sell and they haven't sold, they're not happy, they're frustrated, they're even angry. Some blame all realtors 100%, right? They are concerned about what to do. So I think the best script in them is, Mr. Johnson, I'm guessing right now you're feeling frustrated, you have some pain, maybe even some anger, and I completely understand. If I was frozen for 6 months in place, I'd be unhappy too. I'm guessing you're trying to decide, are we going to relist it, or are we going to just stay here, or are we going to rent it? Because those are probably your only options. I believe if you knew exactly what it would take to sell your house, exactly what it would take, that would help you make the decision. Is that true, Mr. Johnson? And they're going to say, well, yeah. Great, I'd like to take a quick tour of your house. Let me go back and do some quick research, and I'll tell you exactly what you need to do in price and condition to sell your house. And you can use it or not use it, and there's no cost, no obligation. But you need to have somebody tell you the truth of what it's going to take, and that's me. And that was my script, and it worked a whole bunch more than it didn't work. It's just simple. That is the number one thing on their mind. What's it going to take? And I say that deliberately because a lot of people think it's just price. Sometimes it's condition and price. Yeah, I mean, that could be a phone call or it could be face-to-face. All of the stuff I did with FSBOs and expires was face-to-face, and I always beat everybody else because they're all calm. I used to stand in front, I would be in my car in front of an expired house and wait for them to come out to get the paper, and I'd walk up to them. I said, I'm Gene Rivers, please don't be nervous. I want to talk to you about your home expired last night. Are you aware of that? And a lot of times they did not know it expired last night. If the sign was up, I knew they'd say that. But then I'd give them that script, right? And then I'd hear their phone ringing. And I'd say, I hope you understand that I hear the phone. There are people calling you now, and there's one person that came over here and is just standing here. I have no interest in anybody but you. So which one do you think is the one you should allow in your home to give you some advice? The one who cares enough to be here, or all those people that are calling every expired? And that's a powerful script. That went all the time. Yeah.
So he's a doctor.
What do you mean he's a doctor?
I'm following my husband's right now.
Yeah.
And he's a doctor.
Yeah.
You go knock on his door and then.
All right. Have you called him?
Not yet.
Okay.
I sent him my
Oh, you did send him some collateral material, and he hadn't called you?
I just sent him Saturday.
Okay, but he hadn't called you? Okay. Yeah, I go. And remember, expireds are normally a speed game. right? So you need to get in the game. So I go door knocking. And I would just say, I'm following up face to face because I'm concerned. I sent you some information, you hadn't responded to me, and I know you must be frustrated. I'm going right back into the script. I know you must be angry. I know you're trying to figure out what to do. Are you going to move, keep it, right? I'm going right back into the script.
But you would go visit
How many times you want me to say it? Go over and knock on the door. I don't care what time you go. I go over and knock on the door. Be willing to do. Yeah, be willing to do what others won't do. And when you do that, you will start to win more. Yes, sir.
My question was about the marketing piece. I offer call to action what's
Yeah, you have an image that grabs attention. And for us, it could be pictures, drawings, graphs, could be anything, but it's got to grab attention, right? Like you could show inventory lines and circle, right where it's just falling off a cliff, right? Right, so just anything that grabs attention. And then you have a statement that should be related to the image. Ideally, it doesn't have to be, but should be related to the image. And then you make an offering related to the statement, and then a call to action, following up on the offering. Right?
Thank you.
Yeah, that's it. Yes, ma'am.
Question. Video. Do you think professional video versus homemade video? Does it matter on video?
Yeah, she's asking about professional versus homemade videos. The cameras on your phone today are amazing. And the video camera technology and software on your phone is amazing. So you can shoot a good enough video easily with a phone. Now, it doesn't mean it can be just anything. But you can shoot a good enough video on your phone to post it on YouTube or do an iJot or whatever you're going to use the video for. So I don't think you need to do a lot of high quality if you mean hire somebody. Luxury listing is something different, but for you to do stuff to market on YouTube or email marketing videos, I think you can do it. And fun is a key element on viewership. So a little funky picture, like where you stumble or trip or something, leave it in. Don't edit it out. Right? Leave it in. Yeah. It's relatable, right? Remember, keep all videos under 2.5 minutes. 2.5 minutes tops. That's YouTube's advice to people making promotional videos. 2.5 minutes. Yeah.
If you were a new agent today,
Yeah.
would you join a group or would you just try to make your mark? Or like, what's the pros and cons? I hear from both ends.
Yeah, she asked a question about a new agent or a low production agent that wants to really take off. I would narrow your focus to your sphere. Remember, you're new, you don't have past clients unless you have past clients from your prior job, right? So like somebody that was a dental hygienist has a list of past clients. Trust is actually transferable. If they love you being their dental hygienist, they'll give you a shot at being their realtor. Trust is transferable. So I would get your past clients in your sphere, and I focus on that, and I try to get the core 150, and then I would target strangers that are motivated to buy or sell. And you could do open houses for the buyers, you could do FISBOs or expireds, you could door knock, you could join a club, but the club you got to look at in terms of the ability of the club to give you buying, selling, and referring, because you're going to go there to build relationships.
But in terms of joining a team with the women
Oh, you mean joining a real estate agent team? That's a really great question. I think often a lot of agents would benefit from joining a team, and the right team would put you right into the business quickly, and they would teach you, and they would hold you accountable. And if they're the right team, they would tee you up to get more successful fast. And whether you go off then and start your own team or go on a solo agent world, that's the team's challenge, is to make it a place that you don't want to leave. And this is my challenge. I got people on my team that are making 6-figure incomes, and all of them do 40, 50 or more a year. So they know how to do a deal, right? But what's the front end challenge? Leads. So every year of the deals they close, my goal is 90% or more come from me. And then when they get a deal executed, the transaction is handled flawlessly, so that they're never troubled with somebody calling saying, I can't get a hold of your list or your closing coordinator. I've called 4 times. I need to find out about the inspection tomorrow. Nobody will call me back. If the agent never hears a single bleep from the client the minute they've written a contract, Where are they going to go? Where are they going to go? Right? And that's my job. And if they want to go big, I'll help them up. My my buyer agents can get a showing assistant, and that'll take them to 80 or more closings a year. They'll make $250,000, and they actually end up working Monday through Friday in the office. Just saying. Yes, ma'am.
Getting back to the topic of the shifting market.
Yes.
You're talking about the value proposition and stats.
Yeah.
It's a little more difficult to do when it comes to, and some of our clients, particularly luxury sellers, might be looking at selling a $1 million less than you bought, 8 or 9%.
Yeah.
So how do you merge those two even things? Because
What?
if all the agents are not being realistic, and you're the one coming in with the number.
Yeah. I got it what you're saying. The truth is this: if you always are committed to telling the truth to people and other people don't, you'll get them on the bounce back. And when they try it with that agent who told them what they wanted to hear, not what they should have heard, which is what you told them, they'll expire out, and a bunch of them will call you and say, we want to talk to you again. And some of them will even apologize. I'm sorry we didn't listen to you. And then you get to say, well, here's the good news, bad news. The good news is I can actually sell it. The bad news, the value is even lower. No, we want that price you told us a year ago. That price came and went, baby. Is that true?
If your value proposition started with the, I'm gonna get you with that price, it doesn't, how do you change your?
No. You're going to get what the market will yield. You're going to get the most the market can yield. You can't get the best price, period. You can get top dollar in the market they're in. Is that true? That is why those charts and graphs showing them line after line after line of what the market's been doing for the last 12 months, if you're not showing that stuff to people, you're making this conversation with them really hard on yourself. Because the truth is, if I show you charts and graphs, and the data is attributed to the MLS or the state association or whatever, versus it's me telling you the same thing. If I'm just telling you the same thing, you tend to think that's your opinion. But if I show you printed out graphs and charts attributed to valid sources, you tend to think, I guess that's the deal, right? And 10 pages of it is compelling. Because I'm only looking for motivated people, and what do motivated people do? Face reality. That's the definition of motivated people. That is the definition. They deal with the dang reality. Is that true? In a truly bad market, and I had one, the crash, there are many people I just walk away from and say, I appreciate exactly where you're coming from, but I will not take it at that price. This is the script. And disappoint you day after day, week after week, month after month, knowing it's not going to sell. You get excited because you have a showing. You get excited because there's some web activity, and yet I don't believe it's going to sell. And I did that to you, where you had 6 months of wasted energy in believing something's going to happen, and nothing's going to happen. Now you can call the board. 95% of the board will probably tell you what you want to hear, and they'll string you out for 6 months and not even blink about it. I would have heartache over that, sir. I'm not going to do that to you. Good luck with those people. They're going to make you miserable. But they're very nice people. All right, guys, one more, and then I gotta go. Yeah.
One more scripts.
Yeah.
Tremendously important, and obviously you're a master. So I just want to say, the same.
Yeah.
How do you? Obviously they're internalized. You've got it.
Oh, they're internalized, baby. I'm not pulling out my flashcards.
No. But I mean, just hear it. Obviously, with your influence, that you're getting your.
Well, what agents don't do, and I appreciate you saying all that, that's very flattering, but what agents don't do is script and role play near enough. My agents, they're selling 40, 50 houses each, they can script and role play every single week, and they'll do it forever. If they're a new agent on our team, I will do script and role play myself with them every week until they're up and running, meaning closing 3 a month or more, because that is the game. That is the game. You got to know what to say and what to do. And it's not complicated, but you got to practice it to be good at it. Because if you go up against an aggressive seller, and you're not well scripted, they'll bust your chops. they'll chew you up and spit you out and have fun doing it. Is that true?
The first time I wrote play with she called me, she said, "Hi, I'm calling about your house," and I just hung up.
There you go. There you go. All right, thank y'all for being here. See you later.